Hi, my name is John Vlachos. I am an art teacher for the Board of Education in Toronto, Canada, and a mature practicing fine artist. I've been this way all my life. And because I've had art as a discipline from a very young age, 6 or 7 years old, and because I've had art not only as a discipline, but as a companion, you might say that it's a special kind of relationship that has formed. I feel like I've always lived with someone inside me. I'm not talking about the little voice that's inside us that talks to us and we talk to it, and everybody has that little voice. No, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about art as an entity that lives with me, for me, and needs me as much as I need it to survive. Now, for art, as an entity goes, surviving means expressing itself. If it cannot express itself through me, it'll die. And it will probably take with me, probably take me with it. Sorry. So this symbiotic, call it that, relationship between art and the creator, the artist, is something that has come about through the millions of years of evolution. Obviously, the brain needs it. I mean, we know for a fact the brain needs to dream. If it doesn't dream, it starts to die. Things go wrong all over the place. It malfunctions. So, let's just say that I need art, it needs me, and because it has become and has always been the most important thing in my life, the only thing I can do, the only remaining thing that I can do other than paint. In the back here, Madame Bovary, one of my paintings. The only thing I can do is, other than do that, is to write it down. Write all this down. The reason why I'm doing these video series is because it's a form of writing it down. Although this is just audio instead, but it's the same thing. You could record this and then write it down. Make it into a literature. And in fact, I'm taking all this information from the literature that I have written about. And it's about art. Now, you might start to say to me, well, yeah, but John, you know how many books there are out there on this subject? Do you think another one on top of all the others is going to make any difference? Well, I think it will. I think it cannot make any difference. It has to. Why do I say it has to? When we are indeed flooded with so many works on the subject of art that we don't know what to do with them. But why do I insist that it would make a difference if someone sat down and wrote about art? I'll tell you why. Art is such a peculiarly personal entity and a discipline, that it changes itself according to the personality of the artist that's using it. Why is a Picasso painting so different than a Rembrandt? It's art. All of them are art. They all come under the heading art, and yet none of them are the same. It's obvious that art is so multifaceted, so multi-angled, like a cut diamond, shining light through across so many angles simultaneously, that it is impossible to say that this one discipline is the same at any given time. Even my art changes every time I do a new painting. It's another painting I've never done before, from an angle I've never done it. Experimentally again, in a way I've never done it. Because art is feeding off how I feel at that moment, how I feel, how I see myself, how I see my future if I have one. Hopefully I do. See my the reflections of my past, if I'm involved in doing that. It picks up on every nuance of feeling that could possibly be detected, and it conveys it onto the canvas. So obviously that painting is not going to be the same as any other painting I ever painted. And it's the same with another artist's painting. Their paintings are going to look so different from anybody else's because it's coming from their particular personality. So because no one's personality is the same, we have art multifaceted, multi-angled, and multi-universal all over the place. Art cannot become boring or the same no matter how many books you write about it. It's always going to come at you from an angle you never expected. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I'm doing these series. And that's why I say and I insist that it will make a difference. My point of view will make a difference. And if you are an artist out there, or art lover, or art collector, or a writer on art, writing for an art journal, your opinion matters when it comes to art. Everything and anything you say will never be the same as anyone else who's ever said anything similar. So say it. Write it down. Even if it's within a plethora of books that have been written about it, you sit down and write it down. It will be different. It will make a matter. It will add another brick on this vast wall that has been built through time. So I want you to think about what I've said. And I want you to think about it very carefully, because I'm embarking on a new series, okay, called Masterpiece. And I'm going to be reading to you some of my writing, maybe all of my writing. It might take quite a few of these videos to actually finish it all off. But I want to do it. I feel like it. I feel good about myself. I feel good about where I am in life, even though it's not where I want it to be. It's never where you want it to be. 66 going on 67, and my life isn't even near, even close, even remotely close to what I had envisioned my life should be at this point in time. At first I thought it was me and I failed myself, and I kept thinking about failure, and I kept thinking of what I didn't achieve or haven't achieved yet or whatever, and I'm not really sure anymore if that's what it's about. I'm not sure if struggling to make anything out of yourself, or I don't know, becoming something so known that, you're an unforgettable person, whatever. You go down in history. I don't really know if that's really, really what it's all about. It helps, sure. It sure makes a life much easier and economically nicer to have some kind of notoriety and recognition for your art. Everyone wants it, but it isn't the be all and end all, okay? In the end, if you don't get there that way, it doesn't mean you haven't gotten there at all. All right? I think I've gotten somewhere. If I compare my art, like Madame Bovary in the back of me, to some of the early work I did in my early, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds paintings. They were horrible. They were paintings you couldn't even look at. They were so sunk in dark depression, like a lot of young people. They take life far too serious than it really is. And often the early paintings of any artist are unbearable to look at, unfortunately. I've come a long way since then, okay? So even if, whether I have created a recognition for myself or not, whether I still pine for it or not, it doesn't really seem to matter. I still come out with, beautiful, spellbinding kind of pieces that people are telling me are good and good enough to buy, or good enough to put in some collections and whatever. And I think that should be enough. If people are telling you how much your art is affecting them, hell, let it happen. Be happy. At least they're not indifferent, okay? And because they're not indifferent, that means they're paying attention. That means there's something about your art that grabs their attention. That means that one day when you no longer live on this planet, your artwork will continue to talk to people. You will continue to talk to people when you're long gone and you can't talk anymore. And that's part of the reason why these videos are going to exist. To keep me going when I'm no longer here. And hopefully be able to influence even one art student coming out of school to go in a certain direction they never would have dreamed of doing or going or having the courage to do. But because they saw one of my pieces, they're going to do it. That's the magic. And that's why I'm going to be doing these series. Thank you.